Y'all know it is Sunday and the tech is teching. It is not teching this morning. I mean, this afternoon. So, my name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the business plug. And as you can see, we've been dealing with technical issues like since before 7 o'clock. But you know what? The show must go on and we're going to do it anyway, right? We're going to do it anyway. Today, I am so happy to have my son in law. He's on and he's going to tell you all about all the fabulous things he's doing. You're going to want to lean in on this one about going back to the network and then building something to put in the network. Y'all in your neighborhood, the old neighborhood. Like, how many of us have that ambition of going back to the old neighborhood and doing something different? Well, he's done it. And so we're going to talk about it. So before we get to that, I want to tell you about if you would like to be on the Business Plugs mixer when we can get the technology to catch up with us, then the link is in wherever you're listening to this. And if you would like to have help getting capital ready for your business, then that link is also, it's going to my website, getthebusiness.org, and just schedule an appointment and we'll talk about it. I'll see where you are and what you need, and we'll talk about if it's a good fit or not. Those are the two things I have to tell you to keep my team happy. But ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you, I have called him Joseph from day one. Everybody else knows him as Coach Joe and Joe. So here is my son-in-law. Hey, Joe.
Hey, how you
I'm going to
doing?
call you Joe today.
That's right.
Because in the bio, it talks about you being called Joe. And you know,
Yes.
I call you Joseph. You've been Joseph since day one.
Yes, ma'am.
But tell them, who is Joseph Durrah?
Well, Joseph Durrah, I was born May 30th, 1975. I'm now at 50. I am doing some things in the neighborhood that I grew up in the Eastdale area, 3220 Wilcox Boulevard. We have a tobacco mart over there, and we just started a laundromat over there. Just taking it back, like you said. We the neighborhood, that's the neighborhood I grew up in, and we just had a vision of doing things, getting back to the old way. But not only that, people need it. Some people don't have vehicles. When it comes to the laundromat, things are so high these days. So some people don't have washers, dryers. So we just want to be available in any way we can to help out with the neighborhood. But going back, I work at Wrigley, Mars Wrigley also. I've been there for 15 years. I have a beautiful family. Yeah, I
Yes, you
have
do.
11 grandkids, and I'm just happy to still be here and able to do whatever it is that God will have me to do to help the community as well as my family.
Absolutely. Because you do coaching. So the Coach Joe, tell my audience, how did you get to become Coach Joe?
So few years when my children were younger, I got in. I was only just taking them out there to practice, and then I end up getting involved. Like most dads do anyway, with their sons, especially in football. And so it just kind of stuck, and we end up doing over 20 years. A lot of people locally, they remember us as the Raiders and then the Ravens. And we had some success. And the greatest thing about it, though, is that you get to help kids. And a lot of these kids now have gone on to college. Now they have families. If they didn't go to college, now they're in the workforce, things of that nature. So, um, and still right now we're doing basketball right now, AAU. I moved back down to fourth grade, so it's a different type challenge moving back down to 10-year-olds whenever you used to coaching middle school kids.
Mm,
But it's all about the foundation and everything. And so you gotta have this strong foundation.
absolutely. Absolutely. And so, what made you want to go back and do this thing that you're doing? Like, you've been given to the community all the time because, like you said, you were mentoring a lot of young men who were
Mhm.
playing sports
Yeah.
in basketball and football. So you were already giving back.
Yes,
because
ma'am.
there's no way people could pay you the amount of discipline and the amount of vigor that you
Right.
have given these kids
Yes, ma'am.
and opportunities and helping them think smart and stay out
Hmm.
of the street and stay out of doing things they shouldn't.
Right.
So you already doing that. What made you decide to come back and do the laundry spot?
Okay, so the laundry spot, it started from an idea actually over at the tobacco mart. So
Okay.
people were coming in, you know. So we also have Bros Tobacco Mart. It's next to the laundromat. So we've been there for 10 years. And so the people was just coming by a lot of days. They was like, oh, I gotta drive. I gotta drive down the street, or I have to go way out to go, and I got laundry to do. I got laundry to do. I have this to do, that to do. And a few years ago, me and a couple other guys, we just kept talking about it, and then we decided to do it. We knew it was a need for it because it's not one over there in the area. It was whenever I was a young man, a little boy.
Yeah,
Actually, it was one over there, and so we have to have these resources available to our people in
absolutely.
our neighborhoods. We
Absolutely.
know we have a lot of regentrification and a lot of people trying to take over our neighborhoods, but they're our neighborhoods. But we have to do something to show people that they're our neighborhoods. If that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
taking ownership in your neighborhood where you
Yeah,
grew up.
definitely.
Yeah, I get it. Totally get it.
So the biggest thing though, how ideal, yes, it starts in your head, but then eventually you have to put into some action, you know,
Absolutely.
and then so putting it into action, it was about a year process of a lot of build out, a lot of nights, a lot of bad days, slow days, but we stuck with it, and right now, Bros Laundry Spot is open and it's thriving, it's doing well, and right now, I definitely have to thank my wife and my children. I have to thank my family personally for it.
Absolutely.
They made
Absolutely.
sacrifices for this to happen. So I always have to thank them in this
Absolutely.
process because it's not easy for them either. And I would tell people out there right now, if you are, you're thinking about doing the business, you are doing the business, you need that village with you. You need that village to encourage you, some days to pick it up when maybe you just don't have that type of energy to move on. But it's a great thing, and we're looking for some good things. We actually just partner with Barger Elementary, and we're actually partnering with them, and we're gonna be doing some washing and folding and for the kids for the summer and moving into the school year.
I love that. I love that. I so you skipped. I mean, you went. You said it, but how
Okay,
long goes a Because this didn't happen overnight.
right, right, right,
And a lot of people who open business, they want it, overnight.
right.
So speak to how long it's taking you to get to here.
So so we established it in 2024.
Mm,
So that was um starting it, getting the business license, getting the LLC, and I tell people those things are, I hate to, I try and word it, but it's basically that's the easy part. You can just anyone can do that, but the work comes in with getting the contractors and doing the plan, and if you did so, like I build out, we changed the laundromat to a laundromat from a barber shop. So
mm,
if you can wrap your head around that, all we had to do, all the things we had to take out from the barber shop and knock walls down and things of that nature, add doors on because it still had to be up to code, for us to
right.
be able to do it. And then, come in and have contractors come in, electricians come in. You know, you got the floors you have to get done. So if you can do that, you know, that definitely cuts a lot of your costs down for anyone who does do any kind of rebuilding, and you have to get in a building and do your own work. You know, that definitely will help you moving forward if you can do any other work yourself. But
Absolutely.
these things, they cost, and more importantly, they do take time. So as I say, we got established in 2024, but it took us a calendar year to get this off the ground and going. So all of that actually took a whole calendar year to do. And then you want to do it right. You know, sometimes it get frustrating, but you want to do it right so you don't have to come back and do it again.
Absolutely. That's one of the things I say. If you don't have time to do it right, do you have time to do it over?
Right. Right.
Because you don't want to do it over.
Right.
To do it one time.
Definitely.
And so talk about the people who what their your customers are saying. Like I know once you open your doors, they were all over the
Hmm.
internet saying, "Hey, we got a laundromat in the neighborhood." You know, they were so
Yeah.
proud. And talk about what are they saying now about the equipment, about getting their work done.
So the equipment, we got some state of the art depsters in right now, some 40 pounders and 30 pounders. So mainly it's been good. People are coming in, they saying it's very clean, it's very it's very suitable for them. You know, they're able to come in, comfortability, and we also do wash and fold as well as pickup and delivery. So the washing and folding is actually coming on along pretty good. Had a lady on last week, actually, she tried us out and she gave us a good report, and hopefully
Good.
she'll be back as well as others. But right now, and then we have a Miss Martha. I call her Mama Martha, but she's the one who does the washing and folding, and she
I
does an
love it.
excellent job. Really taking her time, and she always says, "I want, I know how I want my clothes done, so I'm gonna do theirs like that." And she's
Uh-huh.
the older lady, but she is great. She's God fearing, and we really just have a very tight family community over there, just in general. You know, the people who do come by, a lot of them had already came to the store been coming to the store for years, and now even we getting people who coming through the tunnels, and they seeing because of the signage and the Facebook and and all of those social media outlets, which I got to give you credit for, because I'm not a Facebook guy, I'm not a social media guy, but I've learned to be between you and my wife. So y'all really done helped out in that, uh, getting me on there, and getting me to understand that is the way, of business these days.
Yeah.
And I want people to know that too, you know, with your you have to always promote yourself, wherever
Yeah.
it is. So for you all who are starting out once again, and even for you all who are already doing business, continue to get those cards made, continue to get that signage, continue to find out what is best for your business, that will help you to grow, because you can't stay stagnant. I mean, you got to keep growing. If you stay stagnant, then they'll start falling. You'll start going down. So definitely keep rising, keep going forward. You know, and the thing I want to say too, right now, I got two other partners right now, and I they are great, and I encourage I encourage people, if you are doing business, you need a partner. I know a lot of times you say, well, this is my idea, well, that's fine, but you do need someone to pick up that slack, because it's gonna come a time where you need someone to pick that slack up, definitely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Partnerships, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you have a partnership agreement, and I love that for you.
Yes, ma'am. And we're hoping to do with some more schools in the community, more, maybe the centers, which I've definitely talked to a few people. So those things, and then patience. Oh my goodness, we have to be patient as business owners, and understanding. Nothing comes overnight. If you are in this for quick pay or big pay and that's it, good luck to you. That's how I tell you. But the ones who are patient, the ones who understand time, draft, you know, I think those are the ones who will really thrive and be successful. Definitely.
Absolutely, absolutely. So somebody somewhere is is needing reassurance from you how you've taken an idea in your head
Mm-hmm.
and you've made it a whole reality in your life.
Mm-hmm.
What was the biggest struggle that you faced personally getting that idea out of your head and into your life?
The biggest struggle, capital,
Capital.
definitely, definitely. The ability to have the money, um, to continue,
Mm,
to not only to start but to continue. And so some ways, that I kind of jotted them down because I do want people to understand too, you know, credit is real, and credit, you gotta have it. You know, I know you may see on TV a lot of times that, oh, you can get this, oh, you can get that. But what they don't tell you is, they talk about business credit, and you will eventually get business credit as your business grows. But in that very beginning, they are going to check your personal credit. They're going to check your personal credit.
yeah.
And, and ideal, you need between a 700 and 720. So just a heads up for you all, while y'all in the beginning stages of thinking and preparing. Get your credit prepared, prepare your credit right, because they're going to ask you, they're going to say, well, what's your credit score? And I don't want no one to be surprised when they say, well, your personal credit. And then you say, well, I got a business. And what they're going to tell you is, well, you're not making any revenue right now. You're not making any money right now. So in order for us to help you and give you some money, we need to know what your credit about him. And credit simply is paying your bills. Pay your bills on time when you're supposed to pay them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's the biggest thing. So yeah, but definitely capital. And I went through a business class with Miss Linda, and we had a great class. And I encourage y'all to go to that class, that first start class. I encourage you all to do it if you can. Whenever she starts it up, look out for it. Get in it. It's 12 weeks. It was 12 weeks, and it was 12 weeks that I needed. And at this time, I had the store. The store was kind of learning a lot of stuff on my own. But now with the laundry spot, I've learned a lot more business savvy, if I would say. Trying to learn how to utilize all the options.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes a difference, right? Because most people do start the business doing what they see other people do, right?
Yes.
They be like, okay, I seen somebody do this and do that. But speak to how much of it you don't get to see.
What? Well, can you rephrase that? How much
Like
I get to see?
right, the back office stuff, the finances, the inventories, the
Oh,
things that people see.
yeah.
Like people see people run stores, right?
Right,
But
right.
what part of it they don't see?
Well, one thing you definitely don't see is the taxes that you have to pay. So, the taxes of your business, depending on what you do. So with the tobacco mart, we actually do a sales use tax, which means you have to pay every month. You
Mm,
have to pay whatever you basically what you purchase from vendors and things of that uh, magnitude, and then you have to pay Tennessee revenue. Now with the laundromat so far, because we did the build out and we were not able to start on last year. So this year, when it came time for the taxes to be paid, we didn't have to go through that on this year. But
Mm,
last year, but this next year, the upcoming years, we will have to pay those taxes.
yeah,
And
yeah.
the other thing is slow days. So
Mm,
I know with business, you always think it's moving, 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 and the business, I mean, brother, we're around all kind of businesses down there, and I encourage everyone to come down there and come to 320 in general. We have a spa down there. We got people doing taxes down there. We got a thrift store down there. We've got so much. We got a venue down there where people can have get-togethers. We have ballet classes, and it's just a lot down there at 3220 Wilcox Boulevard. And I just encourage y'all, just whenever you ride by, cause Wilcox is one of the most busiest streets in Chattanooga, in our
it
city.
really is. It really
Yeah.
is.
But yeah, those slow days though, and that's what I'm going back to, is those slow days happens with every one of those businesses. So every business you have will have a slow time. And what you have to really figure out is, how do you navigate through that? Me, like I said, I've been working in Mars for 15 years, so I kept my job. A lot of people, will think, oh well, he's making this amount of money or they're making that amount of money. But like you said, you don't see the taxes, you don't see the product that you have to get. Every few weeks, the more you boom, the more successful you are, the more that you have to pay out, the more things you have to get. They in the laundromat, they don't know the cleanup, like have to keep the vents clean for the dryers, and things of that nature.
I love it. I love
Yes.
it. Yeah, because sometimes, people see the shiny object, right? And they think, oh, I can do that, and they jump in, and then it only then they got this whole serial entrepreneurship, which I
Yeah.
totally hate that term.
Yeah.
But they say, well, I'm gonna start this business, I'm gonna start that business, I'm gonna start this business. And
Yeah.
they start opening and closing businesses, opening and closing businesses.
Right. Right.
But you are building an empire because Bros is on both the laundromat and on the Tobacco Martin Moore,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
And so
Yes.
you're building an empire of different things.
Yeah.
Um,
I can't I can't reiterate enough too, partnerships, even at the store, I have people that runs the store, because I gotta go to work, and they don't mind. And like I say, those slow days, your overhead, you know,
yeah,
you gotta, those are things that I hope if anyone, whoever listens to this, make sure you putting that into your business plan. And we're gonna talk about business plan in a minute. But make sure that you're putting that in, because that matters. And you will have overhead, your lights, your water. With the laundry spot, we got gas because we have the dryers, we got a water heater. So, things like that, they add up and you don't realize it.
yeah,
So those are things whenever we was thinking about it. Well, yeah, we knew it, our contractor, Mr. Willie Hammons, and I want to mention him because he's been awesome in this journey. There's a lot of things that he knew. So that's another thing. Get you a contractor that knows what he's doing.
yeah.
Don't just go get a family member.
Woo.
Don't just get someone who and someone who you have a little history with.
Yeah.
Who has maybe come to your house and done some stuff. Just don't go with anybody for a cheaper price. Cause in the end, you're gonna end up spending more. And also the guy who owns all of it, Zach, I have to give him a shout out right now. Cause he works with us. And once again, it's nothing better than having people who are around you who want to see you succeed. And so I would say that too. Surround yourself with people who want you to win. Because everybody
Yeah.
don't want you to win.
Yeah.
You
All
know,
right.
when when you win, and that's how I feel, that's how I've always felt, whether it's coaching. I told them today, we had a tournament game earlier today. Hey, when we win, it don't matter who hits the most shots. And I know that's hard for kids to understand, but I want them to understand as we move forward in the season and coaching them moving on and in their life. You need support. I don't care how good you think you are or how good you think you done things. It was your idea. It was this, it was that. You did this, you did that, you thought, but it's not gonna last without a team.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. It does. Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Yep. And can I
Yeah.
to the business plan
Yeah.
1 minute?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, this is something I learned also. Write this down, ladies and gentlemen. Business plan. You need a business plan. Now, I'm gonna give you my experience with the business plan. It and I'm and you're gonna laugh. It has not worked like I thought it would work for me. But what it did do, it opened people's eyes and said, "Oh, he's serious about this." And then I actually got it passed on to someone else who then didn't ask me for a business plan, and we was able to get some capital. So
Right.
I want you to know, get you a business plan, take you some time on it, think it through. It's nothing that you can write down that's wrong. You might have to add some things, you might have to take some things away, but write it, write it down, type it down, however you do, print it out, and make sure on that. Get you someone, once again, it's about what's best. So find you someone who does business plan. Don't you do it. You can do your rough draft, but don't you do it. Find someone, a professional, to do it. The more professionalism things that you have on your plate, the better it be, the smoother your operation will run.
Absolutely. I agree. I do agree.
Write your vision and make it a plan.
I heard you. Absolutely. Well, I thank you for your yes. I thank you for coming on and talking about, the wonderful things you and your partners are doing in the Eastdale area of Chattanooga. And, going back to the beginning, going back where it's all started,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
actually pouring into the young people and pouring into people, period, in
Definitely.
that neighborhood. You are definitely an icon and a role model for the people there who see you, who come to the store or visit the wash and tear, the laundromat. Like, you are definitely an icon to those people because they see someone who grew up where they are and who's come back to actually help build up the community. And so kudos to you for that.
Thank God. That's all I can say. It's only because of him. And I know we are God fearing and God believing people. So I will say that. And if you're on here and you don't believe in God and you listening to me, hey, you do whatever you think is best. But I'm telling you, none of this has been possible without his blessing and his grace.
Absolutely.
And I'm so thankful that he chose us.
I know it. I know it. I am so grateful too. And so thank you, thank you, thank you again for your yes. Tell your family much love, many blessings.
Yes.
And I am going to close now. My name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the business plug. I just plugged you into Coach Joe and the Bros Laundry Spot over in Eastdale in Chattanooga, Tennessee. You can reach out to him with the information that wherever you're listening to this, and give him a call, telling you heard and telling you understand. If you have questions about what he's doing and how he's doing it, go ahead and reach out. His email is here. His Facebook page is here, wherever you're watching this. So lean in and find out how to get your ideas out of your head and into your life, just like he's done. Have a great week, everybody, and we'll see you next week on the Business Plugs Mixer. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.